Alright YouTube, today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. Today we're gonna do a voiceover almost over the video. And it's basically a haircut tutorial. I'm leaving the sound into the video. Hopefully y'all like this too. We will be going back to what we previously was doing. But look, we got a mid taper that we're gonna be doing today. And what I'm doing right here is just setting in my first initial guideline. I like to set in my first initial guideline. The lever is all the way open. But I like to set it in my first initial guidelines on each part of the taper, which would be the two temple areas, and then the back taper. And then I either like to start on the right taper, the right side taper, because that's what I'm right-handed, and that's why I feel most comfortable doing the taper. And then I like to do the back, but today we're going to do the back first. Now when you're setting these guidelines, you want to make sure everything is pretty much even. And the lever is all the way closed. The reason why you want to set in the lever all the way closed is because it's just more efficient. Closing the lever cuts more effectively or more efficiently than open up the lever all the way. And it is my first guideline, so all my first guidelines have to be bald for me. Now we're going to slightly open up the lever all the way, and then we're going to make this second initial guideline. And then we're going to fade all that in. And just like my previous videos, all we're doing is moving down the lever. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Each notch that we move it, that we go closer, that we go to closing the lever, we're moving down in his taper. Closing the lever ensures that you cut the hair more, and the lever all the way open is leaving less hair. Now we're gonna start our debulking with a number 2 guard, and all we're doing is just debulking. Debulking, going down, making sure that taper goes into the hair. That's all it is. That's all we're doing, is just making sure that the taper goes into the hair. Like when you're fading up and everything, or fading down, or whatever you may do, after you complete your taper with an afro of some sort, when the hair is overextending the actual fading part, you kind of have to make it blend in. And that's where I down fade. You can go from a 2 guard down to a 1.5 guard. And to choose the guard, like me, he has an afro. It's obviously way bigger. His afro is probably like a 4, 5, 6, 7 guard or something like that. And obviously, you don't know what to start with, or you don't want to cut his hair down with a 6 guard or something like that, and then work your way down. So basically what I do, if it's a big afro, I start with a number 2 guard or 3 guard, and I work my way down to a 1.5 guard, and then I start my fading process. Now right here we're using a number 3 guard, and we're flicking out. We're using our wrist motion. We're barely taking control of the clipper, and we're just letting it do what it do. We're just flicking out. Barely touching the top, the client's head. We're not putting a lot of pressure. We don't want to irritate the skin or nothing like that, or irritate your client, or make his neck hurt by being heavy-handed. Now that's our number 2 guard, and we're just doing the same thing. And we're closing the lever, moving down. Every time we close the lever, we're moving down and more down. And this is our fading down process. This is the same technique that I used in my last 2 videos. The same technique that I use in almost all of my videos, because when I found this technique out, it really helped me, as it should help y'all. Now this is my 1.5 guard, and we're doing the same thing, same process. It's an easy process. It may not look like much when you first start to do it, but when you get down to that 1 guard, you're gonna really see it all faded out and everything. It's a timely process, but when it comes, not timely, but well, it just takes patience to see the results that you're trying to achieve. Now we got our 1 guard. Every time we set in a new guideline, the lever is all the way open. That means the arm is extended all the way down. Every time we make a bald guideline, which will be our first guideline, the lever is always closed. We do the bald guideline with the clippers to substitute doing it with our trimmers or our liners. Doing it with the liners will leave a harsher guideline, and it will be harder to take out. That's why you see so many people with fades and they still have lines at the bottom of their fades, because they set it in with the trimmer, and the trimmer is very, very difficult to get out. So I zero gap. It's like it's close to zero gap, not too much to where it's irritating the client's skin or scalp, and I just set in all my guidelines with my clippers now, and that has took my barbering level to a whole new level when it comes to fading. And man, what you should do on the back taper and the right taper and the left side taper, you should completely do everything the exact same way to get a nice, clean, sharp, and more efficient cut. If you want them clean cuts, them all even clean, nice looking cuts, make sure all of y'all steps are the same. You don't want to switch up your steps going to the side of the taper or on the back of the taper. You want to make sure everything is nice and fluid. Everything is the same. So that's basically what we're doing on this side. Everything is the same. We're just following through our steps. Following through our steps. And I will should be showing y'all how I fade the beard. The beard is the exact same steps. Besides, you're making the guideline, you're moving down instead of moving up, and you're making the guidelines. And we're basically just fading right then and there. We open up our lever, took some hair off, faded that, went up and faded that. One guard, all the way open, lever all the way open. Now we're slightly closing it till we get to where we had it with our no guard. Then we're gonna fade out between the one guard and the no guard areas with our half guard. That's the smallest guard y'all should have. And we're just gonna level play with that. There's really no correct angle or way. And then we take our half guard. Usually that's what I like to stop at if the beard's not too thick. It just all flows together. And we're just playing with our level with the 1.5 guard. And that's how I do my beard process. Now, because he has an afro, we don't want to take his lineup down with a one guard completely. We want to make it blend in with his afro. So we're using a half guard. You can start all the way open and then kind of slowly transition it into a all the way closed half guard as you get down or closer to his eyebrows on his lineup. Now we have our Babyliss trimmers. This is like a deep tooth blade. It don't really cut as sharp or nothing like that. It's I just wanted to try these out for the I've been having these for a while. I spent a lot of money getting these customized, but we're just trying to see what it's hitting on. It works pretty good for like thick hair, trying to put in prominent lines within thick hair. That's what more so deep tooth blades are meant for. So as you can see, it's just cutting fluidly. And this is all after the lineup prep. Basically what I do in the neck lineup is just spray holding spray, or just have something spritz, or something like that, something that's gonna hold the hair down. I don't necessarily brush the hair. I just leave it in its natural state. I leave the whenever I do it, I leave the hair. Whenever I put holding spray, I leave the hair in its natural state. And as you can see, I'm using my left hand, my non-dominant hand, to put down the ear so that I'm able to get into these spots that the ear covers up. That's on my left side. On my right side, I'm experienced enough to use one hand for everything. Hold the ear down with my pointer finger that y'all see right by his tattoo, and I just move around in a circle. I hold his ear down with the pointer finger, and I just move around in a circle on the other side. Now I'm using my other Babyliss with this DLC blade, and my DLC blade is pretty sharp. I think I have it modified, so as you can see that line come together. Same thing with the taper. You might not see the taper right now, but once you set in a lineup, the taper looks pretty good. But once you set in a lineup, it brings the whole entire haircut together. So for a head start for y'all, y'all could line the client up first, or get y'all lines in, or this line that I'm sitting right here, and just work from there, just so I can see the outcome of the taper a little bit better before it's done. Now, the reason why I'm not starting in the middle on this haircut is because he does have somewhat of a difficult lineup. And by difficult lineup, I mean it's not the typical straight boxy lineup as y'all can see. It's kind of like, it's kind of wanting to do like a, almost like a horseshoe type of lineup. But we gonna make it as straight as possible. We're gonna make it as straight as possible. In this client, he does grow a widow's peak, so you kind of, he doesn't, it doesn't really matter what obviously you want to talk to your client and everything, but I've cut this client's head before. We went to barber school together, so he does like his widow's peak slightly cut off. And that's what we do. We gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta push that line back, boy. You gotta push that line back. We gotta do what we gotta do. Not everything considered a pushback, bro. Not everything is considered a pushback. And we line up his dominant side first, which was the right side, and then we're gonna connect the right side with the left side, and that's what we're doing now. And look, while y'all doing this, y'all wanna stay patient, poised, so y'all can get that look that y'all, or that outcome that y'all wanna get. See, I'm taking steps right now. I'm about to switch my liners because it's them deep tube blades. They do somewhat good on the lineup, but these low pros, my babies, they hit every single time. So, what y'all want to do? Line them up, step back, make sure y'all looking at the lineup. Don't rush. I'd rather take my time on the client before I mess him up and he never come back. So take your time. Boom, boom. Boom, lining them up, stepping back, looking see if it's straight, then I'm going straight back in. Now we sending our C cups. Whenever y'all setting y'all C cups, y'all do want to make sure it's even on the on both sides. And somebody asked me on my previous video, hey, HYB, what do you do to get the vertical balls the same? It's just all visual cue for real. That's all it is. Whatever you see is right. I do one side. Y'all can take precautions to make sure y'all don't keep pushing the vertical ball up too high. I set in the other side as low as I possibly can, where the hair is the thickest at and where it grows at, and as low as I possibly can, like right there. And then I back up and I check visual cue, looking at both sides, seeing if they even, and I have to go push that side. If the opposite side up a little bit, I will. So now we're gonna set in our enhancements, even though you don't need it. It's pretty crispy already with our lineup prep. If you haven't watched my lineup prep video, I need to go watch that. Lineup prep is essential. Lineup prep is essential to having a nice, crisp, clean lineup. So look, we're gonna do we're gonna put in our black spray. I do use Kiss Express. Kiss Express. I will be getting some new enhancements. I'll be showing y'all. We're gonna try to get some permanent hair dye, some washable, non-washable hair dye. And it's just me right here using a razor. Razor is always my last finishing touch on each and every client, no matter what. And as y'all can see, it's a major transformation in what I had to come from, or what we came from, or what difficulties I had to bring my boy back from. And it's the finished product right here. Boy look like a whole new man. Nice haircut, nice lineups. When he go out in public, people gonna notice him. People gonna know that he actually just got a haircut. Nice beard lineup. Boy look clean. And look, it's HYB. If you don't handle your business, then what you doing? It's HYB. We're gonna try it again. It's HYB. If you're not handling your business, what you're doing. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, that's weird. You need to subscribe. You need to turn on the post notification bell so you can stay updated whenever I drop something. We try to do every 3 days. Every 3 days we dropping some new content, dropping some new heat, some new gems for y'all to learn. And me, I'm not selfish, bro. I'm giving out all my stuff, all the things that I use. And look, we out.